Hi, I'm Daniel and this is my latest cycling related impulse purchase. I have been suffering on the bike for a little while now, just with being uncomfortable, bit of knee pain, wrist pain, saddle pain, not really enjoying my indoor riding. Now, my friend Matt is loads older than me and does loads of indoor cycling, and he said, why don't you buy one of these, you fool, they're really good. So I was influenced, I went and bought one of these and here we are. This is in no way sponsored by TurboRocks. I can say exactly what I like, so hopefully you get something from this video and it helps you out if you're thinking about one. And on that note, my knees can't take sitting there like that for very long. So this was £359 plus £25 delivery in the UK. These are made in the UK as well. You can read the website for all the tech specs on how they make it and so on. This is more of a hands-on review. There is a model slightly above this that is the same features, but it's all painted in the slots rather than it being like wood color, it's all black. I think it has a more harder wearing coating on the top of it as well. I didn't stretch to that. I thought £359 was enough plus £25 delivery. And then this is the one that just goes sideways. There is another one higher than this, which is £500, which does go forward and back as well. But I sort of drew the line at just under 400 quid as enough money to spend on something that I thought was going to be a bit of a gimmick, to be honest. But it's amazing though, as soon as I pressed buy, having been £400 lighter, my knees felt loads better. So the buying process was great. There's lots of information on the website about which one you need to order for which bike. When you purchase it, you click on what setup you've got, whether you've got a turbo or an indoor bike, or whatever the setup is, then it comes with the right straps and so on. I got an email from the gentleman that runs the company to say, here's all the instructions for when it arrives. If you've got any questions, here's an FAQ document, or feel free to reach out to me directly. And I replied to that saying, thanks very much, looking forward to getting it set up. And he replied to me and said, cool, enjoy. I think that is absolutely brilliant. I know it's a really small thing, but touches like that really make you think, yes, I'm valued as a customer. I'm happy to part with my hard-earned money for your product, providing it's okay. Now, it's a big old, heavy old delivery, so if you're not very strong like me, you might need another pair of hands to move it around when it gets delivered, but it's pretty much ready to go. All you need to do when it's delivered is take the packaging off, which is minimal, which is great, doesn't fill your bin up in one go, and then attach your turbo trainer or indoor bike to it with the straps provided, following the instructions, and that was about it. Following that, you have to get on the bike and set up the inflatable balls. Now, these are the things that actually keep you balanced and allow the movement, and there's quite clear guidance to not put too much pressure into these because you actually do want a lot of movement either way. That's the whole point of it, right, is to enable the movement, but you don't want too much. The instructions say it's easiest if you have somebody just to do it for you while you're on the bike. I would agree. I got on and off a few times and just did it myself in the end, but it would have been easier to have somebody just with the pump that was provided to add a little bit more pressure to one side or the other. You can really just feel if you're slightly tipping one way or another way. There is like a spirit level bubble thing on the back, but it's more important to get it feeling right rather than it looking like the bubbles in exactly the right place, because I think they get to a certain pressure and the bubble just stays in the same place and they're actually like maybe a few PSI different and they're just going to ride differently. Anyway, let's get on it and see what we think. I know this is where I need a really aesthetically pleasing training environment, but this ain't Instagram, this is real life. So before you give me any stick for how messy my garage is, let me come and have a look at yours. So the first thing I actually noticed was getting on the damn thing. Like, it feels so weird because you want to stand on it, or I do, to get my leg over the bike, but you're almost like getting booked up before you're even on. But a bit of experience has now taught me to put my foot straight into the pedal and then get on, and you don't wobble around anywhere near as much. So let's have a look at it then. What's it like? So when I first started riding the bike, I felt like I'm trying to ride it as if it was before, just stationary, and I was almost keeping my body fully still and trying to hold it still. That's not the way to ride these. The way to ride it is to let the bike move underneath you, like as much as possible. And now I'm used to that, and it feels like you're exaggerating it. Let me get my cadence up a little bit. It feels really natural just to let the bike move under you. Like, that's more than on the road, surely, but it actually feels really good. What I've noticed initially is that those aches and pains I've had have mainly gone. I think it's just because it's changing the pressure on your saddle, the pressure on your wrists, everything. It's just a lot less strain on you. And again, out of the saddle feels weird initially until you get into the groove of, right, that's how I'm gonna let the bike swing. And it feels quite normal again. It just takes a bit of getting used to. Oh, big session. Whoop. Okay, so now I've had this for a couple of weeks. Do I rate it? Would I recommend it? Well, it's definitely helped with general comfort. I think my knee issue has been helped by this, but it's really hard to be definitive. I changed my crank length at the same time and other bike fit aspects, so I guess I'll never really know what exactly was to help. But at the very least, this is absolutely not a disadvantage. I had been questioning, is this a gimmick? Is it just like a bit of a toy and you sort of lose interest after a few weeks? I almost don't care, because I think this whole thing is a gimmick. Like, the kicker bike is a gimmick, Zwift is a gimmick. Like, they're all just like trying to make cycling more fun or more enjoyable or more like a game. And the result of those things is that, well, for me, is that I do more cycling. So if this is a gimmick and it makes me do more cycling, fine, not a problem. Like, I really enjoy that, so I think it's really worthwhile. How I describe it is that it makes riding an indoor bike or riding a turbo feel more like riding a bike and less like riding indoors or riding on a turbo. It's never going to fully replicate road feel. Maybe the one that goes forward and back does a bit more, but it does make it feel closer to riding a bike. Now, I'm the sort of person who I'm normally just training indoors. I'm not really too immersed in like a Zwift route or something, but for those longer rides, I've only done a couple of hours on this in one go, it does make you think a bit more like, oh, this is an actual bike. This is closer to the event or the thing that I'm actually training for, and therefore like it correlates more and you buy into it more. So yeah, I would definitely recommend one of these. There are several competitors. I'd urge you to have a look. I think this actually comes out towards the lower end of the price point. Shocking for me, I know. And so I think it represents good value, but there might be some other options that are better value depending on where you live in the world and what you're looking for out of an indoor training platform. I do have to tell Liz though, if you're watching this, Liz, it's rubbish, it's no good, because I'm not buying you one as well as me. But yeah, I think in summary, I would definitely invest in a rocker plate if you're suffering with any indoor cycling pains, or even if you're just finding it a bit boring. Give one a go and I'm sure you won't look back. Feel free to let me know your thoughts and comments though down below in the comment section if you've had one of these for a little while longer. I do see as well, so I've got a Tax Neo, you can get like the movement plates on the back of that and use your own bike on it, like all those sorts of things are now starting to intrigue me. No, I'm doing this sort of thing, but let me know what you've used, if you rate it, in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock.